showbiz. They are pretty...
And I would like to invite Seema Arora. She is the Chair, Board of Trustee. And I would like to invite Dr. Sandhya Agochia. She is a social reformer and a women's empowerment organizer. Thank you.
Thank you, the AAPI President, Dr. Suresh Reddy, for your wonderful introduction. And hi, everyone. Namaste. This is Dr. Udaya Shivangi, the President of AAPI Mississippi and the Senior Advisor for Women's Forum for National AAPI. As we all know, the COVID-19 has devastated our lives socially and professionally. And also COVID-19 has cornered the global economies to the extent that countries across the globe are uniting to fight the pandemic. I am very proud to be part of this organization, as AAPI has been relentlessly supporting the local chapters and the frontline workers in their fight against the COVID, not only in the United States and also in India. And at this point of time, I really want to thank sincerely to Dr. Suresh Reddy for bringing all of us together virtually for COVID-19 Summit and making wonderful all these women's roundtable reality with such distinguished panel. Without further ado, and I would request Dr. Seema Arora, I will be welcoming her. And she's from Boston, Massachusetts. And she is a board certified internist. And also she completed her residency from Harvard Partnership Medical School. And she's currently the co-chair of National AAPI for the Women's Forum and co-chair of Women's Forum for Gautier, and also the chair, Board of Trustee for National AAPI. And please welcome the gorgeous Dr. Seema Arora.
Thank you, Udaya, for your kind introduction. And by the way, you look great as well, as usual.
Thank you.
So I'm so honored and privileged to co-host this session today with all of you and with all the beautiful as well as inspirational guests today. And we are shortly going to introduce those guests to you. So as Udaya was saying, in this time when the deadly pandemic has struck the entire world and we are mostly staying home, we thought of inviting our guests virtually at our round table and indulging in some informative, some inspirational, and some heart-to-heart talks with them. And they will share their ideas and thoughts with us as to what they've been doing and their personal lives and what more their plans are in the future. So we will shortly begin that discussion. But before that, I would like to invite our third moderator to join the roundtable, and that's Dr. Sandhya Agochia. I will introduce Dr. Agochia to you now. She's an internal medicine physician from Columbus, Ohio. She is the Vice President of Indian Women Collaboration, a platform for women of Indian origin. She also runs a very popular radio show, which is called Columbus Desi Radio. So over to you, Sandhya. Dr. Sandhya Agochia, can you unmute yourself, please?
Oh yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh,
welcome.
Perfect. Thanks, Seema. That was a lovely introduction. Thank you very much. Good evening and namaste, everyone. Hi, Udaya.
Hi. Nice to
Hi. I'm really, really excited to co-host this roundtable with both you lovely ladies. And in the past, we have worked together, and I always look forward to be working with you. As both of you mentioned that we are right now in the middle of a pandemic and trying to navigate these uncharted waters. It's really good to connect virtually. And for that, we are very grateful to AAPI for doing the best and finding a way to accomplish all this. Now that we all are here as hosts, so let's invite our guests. So, Dr. Udaya, would you like to introduce our first guest?
Of course. It's all the host and the guest, all of us here. Let's get started our roundtable. Let me wanted to talk about this particular guest. Everybody know her. She doesn't even need any introduction, but still I wanted to go and say a few things about her. She's a renowned Bollywood actress, model, and dancer. She became Miss India at the age of 17. She has received many awards for best acting, and also she has been multiple times nominated for Filmfare Awards, and also she has been given a special Best Actress award by Andhra Pradesh. That is quite an honor for her. And she also, actually they made in 2006, a documentary was made on her, Meenakshi Accept Her Wings. She's the woman of beauty with charm, and she has acting talent. So people love her on screen, off screen. She's virtually joining us from Dallas, Texas. Please welcome the brilliant Bollywood superstar, the one and only Meenakshi Sheshadri.
Namaskar. It's a pleasure to be here and join you all in the roundtable of the Women's Forum for AAPI.
Thank you, Meenakshi ji. Thank you very much for joining our roundtable today. From here, I would like to take over to invite our second guest. So without further delay, I would like to tell you who our second guest is. That is a very popular Tanushree Datta. Of course, she doesn't need any introduction either, but I'm going to say a few words about her. Tanushree Datta is Miss India Universe and a Bollywood actress. She is also active in various community social impact initiatives and is a voracious spiritual life coach. Tanushree is a powerful motivational speaker and has graced several events in US as well as in India. Tanushree was one of the youngest speakers to be invited to Harvard Business School for their flagship event conference in February 2019. Tanushree has been an avid supporter of medical health professionals and the frontline workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Tanushree is joining our roundtable as a guest panelist from California, where she currently resides. So let's all welcome Tanushree with a big round of applause.
Namaskar. Thank you to the Women's Conference. Thank you to AAPI for inviting me for this very prestigious roundtable. Thank you to all the wonderful ladies. I'm very happy and looking forward to this conference.
Thanks, Tanushree, and welcome to this roundtable. Now let's talk about our third guest. And as each one of you is mentioning that they don't need any introduction, but here it is. She's an American model, an actress, and a beauty pageant title holder. She has worked up an impressive list of achievements. She won Miss India USA in 2013, as well as Miss India Worldwide in 2014. She made her Punjabi film debut with the 2016 film Ambersariya opposite Diljit Dosanjh. That year, she went on to star in 3 back-to-back blockbuster Punjabi films. The following year in Massachusetts, let's welcome our next guest, Monica Gill.
Nice to be here. Thank you to you and all these wonderful ladies for having me. I am absolutely honored
to be in the company of these accomplished and very gorgeous, beautiful looking join the roundtable. Let's start. So, Sandhya, would you start with your question?
Of course, Sandhya. It's a roundtable. Actually, it's kind of getting very interesting questions for all of you guests. And then again, maybe we'll have a couple of or 2 or 3 individual questions to each guest. Let me start with Meenakshi ji. I know you are the one been in the film industry for many, many years. And actually, we wanted to find out how was your journey in 80s and 90s when film industries were predominantly driven by males. I just wanted you to enlighten us with your challenges, your hurdles, your success, so you could tell us about.
But even at that time, there were many movies, as Ma Beti, Bade Ghar Ki Beti, Swati, and of course, Damini. Because it was hero-oriented, the women took the brunt of it, and few of us, because of our talent and success, managed to break the glass ceiling. We managed to get films based on us and work with heroes who were willing to garner that much of success either. And people noticed us for our performances. Of course, you women doctors also must be going through this, with the comparison with male doctors and them getting the more of an attention. But women need to support women. They need to raise their voices when necessary. And importantly, a woman with a voice, by definition, is a strong woman.
Fantastic answer. That's wonderful. That's what we have, a big women's forum in AAPI, and all our doctors actually supporting us, and we are getting better and better every day. And let me switch gear to another guest, how she's going to respond to her journey. Actually, it's a gap of more than a decade. And our second guest, Tanushree Datta. She's actually 2004 that you were became Miss Universe, Miss India Universe, and after that you started acting in few films. And I hear about you a lot. You fight for yourself, and I want to know, how's your journey, and did you have any hurdles, or can you tell us about how your journey went?
So, I think a lot of my hurdles were cushioned because I came from a Miss India Universe background. But having said that, one gets a launch perhaps more easily when you come from a beauty pageant background. But then once you start working, I think it's an even ground for everybody. So yes, because of the male dominated nature of the film industry, female dominated films or female centric films are hard to come by. And even when they do come by, there are a lot of issues with funding, with promotions, because the amount of funding that a male dominated film gets, a female dominated film does not get. So despite all of these factors, I did end up doing quite a few films in which I was getting top billing, because those were the movies which were, which I was shouldering on myself as the lead star of the film to promote the movies and to make those movies a success. In fact, I would say that 80% of my movies that I have done have been promoted on my credibility, and they have been promoted on my shoulders, because I came in as an outsider, and I didn't have any connections in the industry. I did not get chances to work with a lot of big male stars, and so I had to accept projects with good scripts and decent opportunity to act and portray my talent. And sometimes not all those projects had big stars in them. They had newcomers, new heroes. So I had to become the hero in those projects and make sure that those projects become a hit. They run, they promote. So a lot of the projects of mine, I was the untold hero of that project. So I did get my opportunity. I feel as women, we do the best that we can. I feel like in this world, the world is still male dominated, and we women are trying to make our place in it. I believe you take that little opportunity that you get and you make the most of it, and then you try and get another opportunity after that. It's a survival game for all of us women, and we struggle it out, we fight it out, we support each other, and we've come out on tops, and we look back and we tell our stories to our grandchildren. I guess that's how it's going to be for me as well.
I can understand your hurdles. Really, in the film industry, it's really tough. Every you can say within 30 days, there are another few actors show up. I mean, it's very, very tough competition. I do understand. Thank you for your, journey, and we wish you all the best. And let me move on to our next guest, Monica. She's actually second generation and born and raised in Boston. And I'm so surprised that you went back to Bollywood and struggled, and you're shining. And actually, again, 10 years gap. But almost 2014, and you achieved some, I heard, yourself.
Hi. So yeah, I to kind of get noticed and get a opportunity. And I think in Punjabi cinema, which is where I started, because I could speak the language fluently, because I come from a Punjabi background, it was a lot easier to kind of get the kind of opportunities I wanted. However, in terms of male dominance, yes, I still find that both Hindi cinema and especially Punjabi cinema are extremely male dominated, to the point that it's them who decide which heroine they want to work with. However, that being said, I do believe that opportunities exist. I do believe that I got opportunities equal to my caliber. I was able to, obviously not in my first two films, we're starting with my third one and onwards, I was able to get roles in especially Punjabi cinema that I was very, very proud of. Do I think that male dominance in cinema is a hindrance to a female success? To some extent. I do believe that not just in cinema, but in a society as a whole, men kind of just take on the dominant role. And until that changes, cinema as a whole will not change, because our cinema, our stories, our books, and our arts in general reflect society. So once society starts changing,
that's a really nice one. It's a lot of struggle to have a next common question to all our guests.
Thank you, Udaya. So I'm going to change gears a little bit over here, and a serious one. We are currently going through, and all our lives are getting affected. Every profession, like we as physicians, of course, many of us frontline, and all the healthcare, and following all the instructions. I'm sure that it must have changed your lives as actresses and as people generally. So I would like to ask you, has this affected you and your outlook on life? And what do you foresee life as post-COVID? So I would like to begin with you, Meenakshi.
2020 has been shocking to the whole world. And I'm so fortunate that at this time, my entire family is together. Both my children were away from home, and it was hard for them to get flights back to Dallas, but they managed to do that in time. And together, we're all following the government guidelines, all the stuff that we have to do, social distancing, isolating, quarantine, using masks, trying to meet friends over Zoom. And of course, I'm keeping myself busy by going for daily walks, improving my cooking, spending time with family, doing small crafts. This is just the time for enjoying the small pleasures, which have actually become big pleasures. And even the community, our neighborhood, they have really come together. Have friends who have let me borrow things, or who have helped me by grocery shopping for me. Small things like that. Even a friend who gave me her seedlings so that I could plant a vegetable garden. So even though we are practicing social distance, we are close together in heart. And we have the ability to convert this present adversity into hope for tomorrow. And the present is all that we have. So I have a quote here. Let's convert the stone of today, the effect of love's polish, into the mirror of tomorrow.
Thank you, Meenakshi ji. That was wonderful. I do agree with you. I actually always say that world has come closer. You know, it's rather than social distancing, I would say physical distancing, and socially we have come closer. Who would have imagined we would be talking like this virtually between the countries globally? So I think, you know, there's always a silver line to a cloud. So moving on next to Tanushri. Tanushri, well, how do you think this has affected you and your outlook at life? And how are you coping up with this? And what do you see in the future?
So, I've been an avid spiritual seeker for many, many years. And it was something I learned meditation, learned multiple religions. And it was something that I used for myself, you know, to bring myself into peace and happiness and, you know, all of that. During the pandemic, I realized that a lot more people were suffering, and people were going into depression under lockdown. People were going through anxiety and all of that. I never had it in my mind to ever teach, ever share, you know, in a more public, large scale way, what I was holding within myself. And that's what I started doing during the pandemic through my social media. And I also started meditation workshops. I started doing Bhagavad Gita readings just live on my Instagram. And I saw a huge response from people who kind of just felt with that little bit of human communication. That was a big, big change for me, because I would have never used that skill and talent of mine because I never needed to. And because we were all under lockdown and there was a certain amount of boredom, and, you know, many different feelings that all of us were going through. So to be able to connect with the people, you know, strangers even, and have a heart to heart about, you know, all of these things that people go through when such a pandemic is happening, fear and, you know, anxiety, and all of this is gripping all of us. So there is a communion that is happening in the world, shared feelings, people coming together, even though it's virtually. There is a certain sense of camaraderie that is building up already in the world. I think we were actually very separated with each other before the pandemic hit. We have become too individualistic. This pandemic has actually brought us closer, made us more compassionate. And that's why we also see a lot of different issues being spoken about today in the world. So this is how I've been impacted too. I think it has made me more compassionate, more loving, and willing to share more. As to what I think would happen in the future, I think this would just continue. By the time the pandemic gets over and we are all ready to come out, I think we will come out in a very changed world. We are also being transformed. I think we are becoming better. All of the losses that have happened, of course, those people cannot be brought back. But I think they are soldiers in a much grander battle for humanity. The battle is for our souls. And sometimes these kind of things happen to just make us realize that nothing is more valuable than, you know, the soul and the happiness of a person. And we all have to contribute to that in some way. So it's been a very, very soul searching time for me. And I think it's like that for everybody as well.
Thank you, Tanushri. I think we all echo in those sentiments that this pandemic has brought us closer. And this is really the time for self-realization and some inner soul searching. And this is really the time to do some yoga and meditation and focus on our mental health. So that was a very good message. Thank you. So moving on to Monica now. Monica, you tell us in your words now how this has affected you and how this has changed your life and what do you foresee in the future?
Dr. Seema, as you know, my wedding was planned during this pandemic. I was supposed to have my reception today. My fieras were supposed to be yesterday morning. So for me, it has kind of impacted my life on an extremely grand scale, as it has kind of just paused one of the most important events in, not just mine, but any woman's life. And when the pandemic hit, it took me quite a while to wrap my head around it. Like, I went off Instagram and social media for a while. It was very difficult for me to comprehend and to accept that something like this could happen, that all of a sudden, like this wedding that my family and I, and obviously my in-laws had been planning for over a year and a half, is just not going to happen because the universe isn't allowing it. And it took a lot of soul searching and kind of coming to terms with it and accepting that sometimes the universe as a whole has different plans for us as humans than those that we make for ourselves. And that was kind of like a aha moment, like, okay, this is what I wanted. This is what I thought was the best for me, but what is best for humanity as a whole? And like Meenakshi ji and Tanushree are saying, that this pandemic has brought people together. It's kind of forced us to pause. It's kind of forced us to pause and to look at our relationships. For me as a person, like my dad has asthma, and we obviously, as most Indians, run, a small business. So keeping my dad at home, going out, and, my brother and I running that, or like, doing grocery runs for myself or for, other people in our family, those kind of things, just really bringing the relationships closer and just accepting that, you know what? Something good is going to come out of this. There's going to be a silver lining to this cloud. And that was something that I kept repeating to myself while trying to come to terms with everything that's been going on, that everything happens for a reason. Yes, there's a pandemic. Yes, there is an ailment. People are dying. This is going on. But what good is going to come out of it? And I think that is what it is. People are going to start valuing relationships. People are going to start valuing quiet time. And solitude is kind of addictive. Once you start appreciating being alone with your thoughts, you start understanding why that's good for you. And I think that's another good that's going to come out from this.
Thank you, Monica. I totally agree. And for those who don't know, Monica was supposed to get married this week. And this whole week was her wedding week, starting from Mehndi and all the other celebrations. And today was supposed to be her reception. So I would say, Monica, that silver lining to this cloud is that if you were getting married, you wouldn't be here with us. So.
I know, Shanti. I thoroughly enjoy time spent with you.
So there's always a reason behind everything. But I totally understand, where you're coming from. You were getting married, and this happened to so many people. So many events were canceled. Our own AAPI convention. That's why we are doing this virtually. My daughter was in Italy, just went there. Her Serena just went there for study abroad, and she came back home within 15 days, and she was totally heartbroken. So I know what happens with the young girls, younger generation. They take it to heart even more. So well, thank you all you ladies for all your wonderful comments, and I would like to pass it on to Sandhya now for the next question. Sandhya, you're on. Sandhya, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, Ima, can you hear me? I think I'm having some difficulty. I got logged out.
Oh, okay. We can hear you now, and we can see you too.
I'm on my phone now for some reason. But anyways, those were some great answers, and obviously we can all agree that we are here with, we have become more compassionate, we have become more accepting in this pandemic that came out of nowhere, and we had to constantly adapt and adjust to it. So, my question is not as heavy as yours was, Seema. So we will take a different approach. My question is, before we were hit by this pandemic, there were a lot of discussion on women empowerment and talks about women empowerment. So the question here to all three of you is, what role, if any, do you think the film industry has played in changing the image of women from a more traditional to an empowered one? So I'll start with Meenakshi ji as well.
You know, when you say traditional role, it's hard to define that. I guess you're trying to say a situation when they were not as empowered as they are today. And every step of the way, every new generation, this is a fact that women have gotten stronger, their voice has got stronger, and their presence is felt more strongly today. I have this interesting quote about an actress. An actress has been defined as being sugar and spice on the outside and cement and stainless steel on the inside. So actresses are tough. It is hard to become an actress. It is not an easy task. It's not just the glamour and the beauty and the outward looks. It's about the inner substance. And there are numerous examples of actresses who are shining personalities, who have stood up for themselves. They have stood up for personal reasons, for social causes. And this is not just in India, but the worldwide over. I will not take the names because there are so many of them. But there are many women who have entered politics in India, from Disji, Vaijayanti Mala, Hema Malini, Jay Prada, Jay Lalita, and many more. There have been so many women who have become producers and directors. And these are names which are beacons of light. And some actresses, just by being talented and successful, have shown the path to others. In their lives, they have made the statement that they are truly strong. They can speak for themselves. People look up to them. I will give one example of Deepika Padukone, who came out, talked about her depression. So she talked about a personal illness, and it takes courage to do that. And things like this make me feel that woman is empowered. She speaks the truth. She speaks honestly. She speaks from her heart. And even when it comes to the salary, the money part of how much a woman earns for her work, many women are on par with the heroes or even ahead of them. And I think that was necessary too for empowerment, not just the inner strength, but even the outer ramifications of it.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing your views, Meenakshi ji. As you said, it's actually very good to know that film industry, who is a big influencer on the makeup of the society and to people. So it has done a wonderful job of putting women out and showing that they are very accomplished and they can actually carry themselves on their own. Which is wonderful, wonderful to know, and so nicely put by you, Meenakshi ji. Thank you. Let's go on to Tanushri, and I'll ask the same question to you, what your thoughts are on this question.
Thank you so much. I would definitely agree with Meenakshi ji, and I would second that and add that I think being an actress has been a huge blessing on my life. And yes, it's not easy. It's definitely not an easy industry to be a part of. It's not even an easy profession to be a part of, because as women, generally we are subject to a lot of judgment. You know, women are the most judged creatures on the planet. You'll be damned no matter how you are. If you keep your hair long, if you keep your hair short, if you wear a sari, if you don't wear a sari, if you wear Western, if you wear Indian, how you speak, how you talk, everything. So an actress is that epitome of a woman who's out in the public eye, and she is at the receiving end of love, all the adulation. At the same time, she's also at the receiving end of judgment as well. Despite all of that, our wonderful actresses, Bollywood, Hollywood, over the years, over generations, we've braved it out, and we have not only created a place for ourselves, but actresses have also created a space for the emerging trends. So like Deepika spoke about depression, and before that people never spoke about personal issues. Likewise, there are actresses like Frida Pinto, Priyanka Chopra, and others who are doing so much social impact work in the world. So they are not just playing roles on screen, but they've also taken a step ahead, become entrepreneurs. They've gone into politics, as Meenakshi ji said. They've also become flag bearers of various different causes and social impact issues. They are using their power and position and visibility to now also create an impact in the world. I've also, some way, I've played a part in that. But it is inspiring that we are able to do so much more. So I think Bollywood and Hollywood are platforms that actresses get to display their talent, but there are also huge opportunities to take that visibility and fame forward and actually create an impact in the world. So I'm really proud to be an actress myself, be a part of the industry. I think we need to look at the glass half full sometimes rather than half empty. Despite the challenges that one faces being an actress, being a woman in the world, I think it also kind of gives you enough opportunities to, come out stronger as an individual and also make an impact on other people's lives who are looking up to you, looking at you for your work and everything.
Very nice, Tanushree. Thank you for sharing those thoughts. And like you and Meenakshi ji both, I'm really, it's good to know that women have really braved it out and created a platform and a place for themselves. And when I watch cinema these days, it is very evident that the change has been there. There are so many women-oriented films. The content has become king. It's no longer formula-based movies. People are experimenting. And as you said, there are numerous women in the industry who has come out and given a social message, and which is very important these days because there's so many people in the society who look up to you guys. You probably somebody's role model and they want to do what you have done, like you mentioned Deepika and Priyanka Chopra and so many more. I mean, there's an endless list of those. So I'm glad that we are talking about it and actually bringing all these qualities of Indian actresses and even here out, so that people don't just see them as an actress, but also giving a social message and being a role model to so many numerous girls and people out there. Very nicely done, Tanushree. Thank you. And let's go to Monica and see what her thoughts are on this.
I just like to second Tanushree and Meenakshi ji that what the film industry really does is it basically gives you a platform and a microphone. What you have to say is heard. And as a result, that in itself is empowering because you're kind of given a voice. You're given a voice and it's up to you how you want to use it. In terms of what the film fraternity has done directly for women empowerment, I think the film fraternity churns out women that are just like insanely strong. The film fraternity, like to put it in nice words, makes you very cautious of who you are as a person and how to guard yourself. And I think it teaches you some very, very, very key survival instincts. I would also agree with Tanushree and say that entering the film fraternity and being part of films was the greatest blessing in my life. Not only did it give me a voice, that I feel like it did make me a stronger person. I was very clear with what I wanted out of life, where I wanted to go in life, what I wanted to do. And I think that is a great example to set for young women to not settle with what you want out of life. And all too often as women, we're taught to compromise. We're taught to compromise on everything. The women that go into the film fraternity and come out of it, they're not compromisers. And I think that is the most important key to women empowerment, to be able to go after what you want without having to think about what this person thinks and this person thinks, and having to kind of mold yourself to other people's expectations. Other than that, I think, yeah, like how Meenakshi ji and Tanushree said, we have a platform, we have a microphone, we have an immense number of followers. Stand up for what you believe in, and raise awareness for what you believe in, and that in itself is women empowerment.
Very good. Thank you, Monica. And really, yes, it is a platform and people can use it anywhere. But coming back to what you said, that it has made women stronger. So like they say, what doesn't kill you, it makes you tougher and stronger. And women are very resilient in general. If you look at life in any field, they are very resilient, and they have created a niche for themselves, which is very, very, very creditable. So thank you all for sharing your thoughts. And I will pass it on to Dr. Udaya Shivangi for the next question.
Of course, Sandhya, it was such a nice knowledge. We always, with the medical field and talking with the medical doctors, but it's a wonderful opportunity to talk with all these celebrities and sharing their ideas. It's wonderful. And now I would go to Ms. Meenakshi ji. It's individual questions for you. And we all know that you are an accomplished classical Bharatanatyam dancer, and but many people do not know is that your mom was your guru. Was she a strict teacher, or was it fun learning dance from her?
First and foremost, I must say that my mom was a very special person. She was not only my mom, she was my teacher, my friend, my agent, and my soulmate. I don't think I would have been the person I am without her in my life. So she was a really good role model for me. And she had a class where she taught a lot of kids at the same time. And I was just 2 years old and passionate about dancing. I would watch all the children every day practicing. I would quietly go to the back of the group and learn just by watching them. And one day my mother asked, "Do you want to learn from me formally?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And she taught me so much, and I was so receptive to learning from her that by the age of 4, I gave my first stage performance. So she was strict. There's a lot of discipline, especially the style of Bharatanatyam, which she taught me, is full of discipline and rigidity. But her love as a mother was always there. And here I must speak briefly about my sister. She was a very good dancer, singer herself, and whatever she did, I had to do too. My sister was also a talented actress. My mother used to conduct many dance dramas and plays in our city where we lived. And that's where my love for acting also started. I learned 4 styles of dance: Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Kathak, and Odissi. And I pressurized and forced my mom to find dance teachers for me in each of these styles. And so she literally made my dance background, my dance career. And by the time I joined the movie business, I was so proficient that I could easily master the Bollywood moves. These styles prepare you for life. And so I'm really thankful to my mother and my family, whose love and encouragement brought me where I am.
It's wonderful. I mean, you're so gifted. Your own mother taught you, and something in common between you and me. I'm a classical dancer too, and my mother was my guru too. She was very strict, so I really miss her. She's no more. But anyway, thank you. And now I would, Dr. Seema, would you like to ask the individual question to our next guest?
Yes, thank you, Dea. So my next question is a little bit personal one. We have heard many, heavy questions. So on a lighter note, I'm going to ask Monica. Monica, you're on the spot here. We did talk a little bit about this stuff, but as a young teenager, I saw you growing up in our hometown, Boston, and your journey all the way to Bollywood. So I found it very fascinating, like Udaya mentioned earlier, being a second generation, how you made it over to India and Bollywood. Sometimes our kids go there and they're not able to adjust so well. And I always wondered whether you're gonna stay there or come back, or what's gonna happen. So, but I just found out that you came back and you got engaged, and so I wanted to ask you, what made you come back and settle down now?
If I had to give a reason, I would say I found the right person. I think that wasn't a move or a decision I would just take, right? What ended up happening was that I met my significant other at another family wedding, and it just became difficult to maintain a relationship across continents. I mean, he's from California, so it's still difficult, but it's a lot better being in kind of the same time zones. So I think once you meet the right person, and as a woman, you have a key intuitive instinct where you know what's right, what's not for you. I think that's basically what it was, that I wanted to make my relationship work, and this was the person that I wanted to be with. Secondly, me coming back wasn't like me walking out of the film fraternity. Like, obviously, if a amazing opportunity arose again in the future, I would definitely take it. But as someone who was, getting married and planning a wedding and, getting into all of that, it was very important for me to be where the wedding was taking place. Secondly, even when going into cinema, I always knew that although Bombay's a very metropolitan city, very modern, it's almost like, I always call it New York City on drugs. I always knew that that wasn't where I wanted to be forever, because all my family, my loved ones, my parents, my grandparents, my sister and brother were in Boston. So I wanted to be permanently in a place where, if there was an emergency, I could be there within the day, that was a very important key factor in determining where I stayed long term. Overall, like I said, we are women, and one of the most important qualities of that a woman has versus a man is her key intuitive instinct. And I think, as mother, I'm not a mother yet, but those of you who are mothers can attest to that you always know when your child is upset or hurt or going through something. And I think when it came to moving back, that's what it was for me. I knew the moment I laid eyes on my significant other that this was the one that I was going to end up with, that he was the one I wanted to marry. And that's what it was, an intuitive decision.
Well, congratulations, Monica, that you found your significant other, and you're so happy, and I'm so happy for you. But actually, I do remember that in Bombay, once you came to meet me when I had gone for AAPI Global Health Summit, and you met some of our other colleagues from AAPI as well. And remember that? Yeah. But I really admired your courage, Monica. At that time, I thought, oh my God, this girl is living here all by herself. And even riots were going on that day. Somehow we were in the middle of riots, remember? And you came, you went, traveled in the cab like a Bombay girl, and you were not scared at all. And we were all so scared. And
I remember that. I remember you were worried for me.
Yeah, and you came to meet me just because I was from Boston, and said you felt that there was some family over there. You used to be homesick.
Yeah, I was very homesick, and for me, it's also a very important, a very big motivating factor for me was the kind of support I received from our community in Boston. There was not a single person who at one point or another didn't come up to me and be like, Monica, we support you and your dreams. We've seen you grow up in front of us, and they gave me that love, respect, support. And for a child, I still think I'm a child at 30. I was 24 at the time. And to hear that from community members, that people you don't even know, and people that as acquaintances, or your parents' friends, or you, or anyone, that was huge. And you coming there, or people from our community would come there and be like, Monica Beta, we're here, we want to see you, let me take you out for dinner, let's meet up. And it's a huge motivating factor. Just that support is enough to make anybody want to keep going.
So thank you, Monica. You definitely are a motivation for our second generation, and you've always been a mentor for my daughter. I know that. All right. So moving on, next, Sandhya, do you have another question?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Seema. I do have a question, and that is for Tanushree. But first, Tanushree, I cannot tell you how lovely it is to see you again. I have some very fond memories from last year. Remember, we had International Women's Day celebration. And that was the time when we discussed a lot of spirituality and meditation and went through that. So good to see you again. So here's the... Very good, very good. So here's the question, Tanushree. Success is a very subjective thing. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So how do you measure success, or what does success mean to you?
For me, the definition of success has definitely evolved over the years. As a teenager, success meant different than in my 20s, and now in my early 30s. I have arrived at a very significant realization that I think by the time we are all ready to leave this world, success would mean the contribution that we've made to this world. And we are making contribution. We are all, every single human being is making a contribution. That is a fact. But beyond those contributions, I think there is one contribution that I would like to make in the world, is in the lives of people in a more personal and intimate way. So of course, as an artist, I would like to, I'm not done yet. I feel like there's a lot more juice in me as an artist to, kind of give out there. As a dancer, as an actor, singer, a lot of things I would like to explore, which would add to my repertoire of success. But along with that, as a human being, I would like to believe when I'm leaving this world that I've left it a lot better, slightly better, or somewhat better than what I came into. So I always strive to, do something in that way. I feel that would be a definition of success for me when I'm maybe like 100 years old or something. And those little contributions in somebody else's life make you immortal. And since I'm a spiritual seeker, I'm quite fascinated with the concept of immortality. And as actors, we any which ways get immortalized on screen, because long after we've left the profession, our work stays on. And I feel as an actor, as a human being, I would like my work in this world to stay on long after I leave. So.
Very nice. Those are some very inspiring words, Tanushree. Of course, we all want to leave something good behind, and you guys have a perfect opportunity and a good platform to, like you said, being immortalized. But with this pandemic, we all think that we should be a little grateful for all we're getting from the nature, and be mindful of what we are doing so that we leave a better world. And yes, we do mature and we do grow, and success means a little bit different at different phases of life. So thank you very much. And I will go back to Udaya for her next question.
Thank you, Sandhya. The session has been going great. Again, I would like to, the individual question goes to Meenakshi ji. You always talk to me that how much you're passionate about dancing and acting, and all of us very curious to know what is in your future for Meenakshi Sheshadri. Are we going to see more of Meenakshi the actress, or Meenakshi, the dancer?
Well, at the beginning of this year, I was planning to go to India. And the reason for that was I was planning a return to the movie business, to the entertainment industry. But the pandemic broke, and it was not going to be possible for me to restart or make a comeback. So that is still something reserved for the future. It's hard to say if and when it'll happen. But I can only say that I have faith that my future holds promise. Exactly what will happen, nobody can predict about the future. But the reason I felt the time was right was because my kids are grown up now. They don't really need me. I have all the time in the world to go to India if I have to. So practical things like that were working out. And I also feel as an actress at this age, I have the additional maturity to bring authenticity to my roles. I'm looking forward to working with the present day producer, directors, actors. That'll be very exciting for me because I come from a previous generation. My last movie was in more than 20 years back. So it's been a long time. And I'm also looking forward to regional movies, not just Hindi, because Tamil and Telugu movies are so well made and so successful. And I am a Tamilian and I have done a Telugu movie too. So it's going to be a pleasure to even try that avenue. Now, regarding whether I'm going to be an actress or a dancer, the last 4 years of my career, I was dividing between acting and dancing. So I have done both at the same time, and nothing stopping me from doing that now. I'm very inspired by actress dancers like Vaijayanti Mala and Hema Malini, who are still going strong. So they are amazing examples to me to follow. And not just solo, but group ballets. I'm looking forward to present those. And of course, the last thing is I'm a singer, I'm a vocalist. I have trained in both North and South Indian classical music. And a few years back, I recorded some tracks, in fact, both my Bollywood remixes and personal original songs. And hopefully I will share those with the audiences soon. One thing which a very famous music director duo, Kalyanji Anandji, said to me, Meenakshi, you may not be able to dance till a very long age, but you can definitely sing for a long time. Look at the examples of Lata Mangeshkar, Asha Bhosle, MS Subbulakshmi. So that might be my third role, which I will play. All three: dancer, actress, vocalist.
Wow, you totally deserve all those, actually, because you see current trend, everybody is coming back. When I watched your Damini, Jerome, and Swati, all those movies, how you acted, no one can forget. Actually, even when I was talking to our president, Dr. Suresh, he said, "Oh, she's my fan. We need to get her." So he was calling me and he said, we should, because she's such a great actress. So we wish you all the best and you will shine in all three fields. Again, congratulations, and stay in touch with us, and we would love to hear your music. And now, thank you for all your answers. Then I would now turning the question to Seema. Would you mind asking individual questions to our next guest, Dhanushri?
Sure. Udaya. So as we move closer to the end of our program, we have been asking about their future plans and what they're going to do, what they're doing. So on those lines, Dhanushri, I would like to ask you this question. So we know that you have been currently residing in California, but you go back and forth because you're a permanent resident here and you've got a green card, so you go up and down between India and US. But I'm sure and we all know that you have a big fan mail over there, and they would, I'm sure they want you to come back to movies over there. And there have been persistent rumors that you will return to Bollywood. But again, I don't know. So I want to hear from you. Are you or are you not? What are your future plans, Tanushree?
So thank you for that question. Definitely, like I said, I've been rejuvenated. My stay in the US, all of these years have been fantastic. I agree with Monica when she said that the community here is so supportive. You really feel like home when people encourage you. So I received that out here. It was very, very rejuvenating for me because I lived in Mumbai for many, many years. I had my first innings. I did really well for myself. I had my share of ups and downs and everything. But now I feel I'm pumped up completely to go back and do some really good work. Also, it's been a fair bit of time that I've been on a sabbatical. So the kind of movies that are being made is also evolving. There's a lot of interesting content. There's a lot of those strong, powerful roles and characters that I always wanted to do in my first inning, but they were hard and far and few to come by. Also, as an individual, I feel like emotionally, mentally, I've matured a lot. And as a woman, I feel like my maturity now as an actress would come out on screen. And I'm expecting some magic. So yes, I would be coming back. I have a new film manager who is very excited and gung-ho about promoting me. Nothing concrete as of now, but a couple of projects in discussion, and let's see how it goes. I want to have the best of both worlds. I want to obviously continue to have my ties with the United States because I love this country. I really do, and I love being in India. I love Bollywood. I love Mumbai. My family is there, so I'm going to be doing that balancing act. And it works for me. It's really great when I go to Mumbai and stay there, do my bit, and then I come out here in the mountains of California, and I just completely zone out, do my meditation, do my all of that. So I'm gonna do a lot of juggling. So I'm gonna be like, women are multitaskers, and I've been getting the knack of it lately. So there'll be a whole bunch of things that I'll be simultaneously doing, not just my artistry like acting and dancing and all of that, but I'm also setting up my own workshops with meditation and spirituality. This is what I was trained for while I was away from Bollywood. So I'm going to be managing a whole bunch of things together, and I hope God's with me and people accept me back. That would be great to have the love of the audience and to get an opportunity to act and dance and some such artistry again. Yeah.
Thank you, Tanushree. It's so good to hear your future plans, and why not? You have the best of both worlds, and you are a beautiful individual inside out. So I think you will be successful in whatever you do, whether it's Bollywood or even Hollywood. Have you ever thought of that? Being in California, you can even try out some Hollywood movies. You are very talented. You are very pretty. So sky is the limit. So, but we wish you the best of luck in whatever you do. And I'm sure you're going to shine always like a star. So back to Udaya.
I think now I would say maybe Sandhya, you should ask your question. Individual, do you have any?
Oh yes, I do. Thank you, Udaya, for that one. But first, I would like to congratulate both Meenakshi ji and Tanushree for their future plans, and kudos to both you ladies for being so talented, so accomplished. And Meenakshi ji, that's another feather in your hat, singing, and I'm sure everybody will love it. Same goes for Tanushree. We wish you all the best, both you ladies. My question is for Monica. So, Monica, before I ask the question, first tell me, do you feel as wonderful as you look?
Yes.
Good, great answer. I was thinking I feel actually better than I look.
I mean, it's the pandemic. I think we speak. I'm a firm believer that you speak things into existence. I always wake up in the morning, and now my brother and I are quarantining in the basement. And the first thing we do is name 3 things we're grateful for. Even if I'm not feeling good, I say I'm feeling good.
That's awesome. That's the way to look at it. Absolutely. And congratulations, Monica, on finding your soulmate. That's so exciting.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited about it too.
Wow, I'm excited just looking at you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just heard you talk about your movies, the Punjabi movies that you have done. I believe Ambersariya and Kaptan, and talking about that speaking the language helped you tremendously. So all of us here always kind of struggle for kids who are born and brought up in this country. It's kind of hard for them to speak the language conversationally, let alone being fluent. So please share with us, how did you achieve this? How did you get so good at Punjabi?
So when I was born, my dad was still in grad school and my mom was working a lot. So I was raised primarily by my grandmother, and that too in Rajasthan, India. And Rajasthan, pre-partition, was part of Punjab. So it was after I forgot the actual name of the language that's spoken there, but Punjabi is actually one of the primary languages spoken there. So it was something that Punjabi was my first language. English was secondary, that I learned in preschool and kindergarten, yada, yada, yada. So it was very inherent. And I think my dad maintained the language with my sister and I, in the sense that we were never allowed to speak English at home. Even when we came back from India, like obviously we were struggling to learn English, but it was never spoken at home. He has gone a little soft with my brother in the sense that we all speak English at home now, which is why my brother has difficulty speaking it fluently. But yeah, it was a very kind of intentionally done by my parents and by my grandparents and by the circumstances for my sister and I to be able to speak Punjabi fluently.
Wow, that is very good to know. I think these are the tips that can be used by so many families here, because we constantly struggle with that. It's hard. As you know, I teach Hindi at the local temple here, but again, the same struggle always, because they're not speaking the language sort of at home. They're speaking in English, so it's hard.
Both my sister and I also did years and years and years of Gurdwara school, which was, reading and writing Punjabi, learning Sikh hymns on the harmonium and Sikh history. So I do think in our community, these kinds of things are very important. You teaching at your temple and, parents bringing their kids there. I think being able to keep your culture alive in America is very, very, very important. And I really applaud you for being able to do that and having a part in that.
Very good. Thank you, Monica. Those were very nice thoughts that you shared with us. And I'm sure a lot of families will get some ideas from here. And I really pity the kids now. They will not be allowed to speak in English anymore at their house, but that will help them with the language. So that is great. Well, I think, Udaya, do you have any other question, or should we start with the closing remarks?
I think, closing remarks will be good to start.
Okay, perfect. So let's start with Monica now.
It was very nice to be here to discuss everything COVID. It was very motivational. I've seen Damini many, many times, so it was absolutely an honor to share a platform with Meenakshi ji. And with Tanushree, I've worked with her sister, so it's very, very nice to actually get to interact with you. And being with such important members of our community like you and Seema Auntie and Dr. Udaya, it's an honor, and I'm glad I could be a part of it. Women supporting women is the way to go. That's how women empowerment works, and I'm glad I could be a part of it.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, and we are very happy that you came to this roundtable. We really appreciate it. Let me go to Tanushree for her closing remarks.
Thank you. I would like to thank AAPI, the Women's Roundtable Conference. I would like to thank Dr. Udaya Shivangi, Dr. Seema Arora, and Dr. Sandhya Agochia for having this wonderful conference. and also Dr. Suresh Reddy. Thank you so much for having me here. Last but not the least, Mr. Bharat Goradia, for bringing me here. And you guys were wonderful. I would like to also thank Meenakshi ji and Monica for being my fellow guests. I think we had a wonderful, wonderful roundtable. It was so nice and positive and pleasant to have this discussion. And thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Tanushree. Thank you for your remarks. I will move on to our guest Meenakshi ji for her closing remarks. And as Monica mentioned, Mary Jung and Damini are absolutely my favorite as well. So let's hear the closing remarks from Meenakshi ji.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me to this roundtable. It has been eye-opening and very, very enlightening. Great to share the panel with such good moderators and other interviewees. I would like to thank Senior Advisor for Women's Forum of National AAPI, Ms. Udaya. I would like to thank Seema and Sandhya for doing such a great job. And of course, thank you, Monica and Tanushree. It was wonderful sharing this opportunity with you. Namaskar.
Okay, now I think we have come to the almost end of the session. We learned a lot, and like I said, we have been associating with all the doctors, but our president gave us the opportunity to meet with the non-doctors, sharing all the things, how they cope up with COVID at this critical moment. And we learned a lot, and we wish you all the best. And hopefully when things get normalized, we may have a live convention in future AAPI, and that's what we are trying to look for. So once again, thank you, everybody. And also I wanted to thank, there are several people involved in putting these things together, and not only the guest, and also I share a lot with my co-host, and they are my friends. And also I wanted to thank Dr. Suresh Reddy for giving us this wonderful opportunity. And of course, my Bollywood promoter, Bharat Gorodia. He has been talking all the time, and it's a very tough job. And I wanted to thank all the AAPI doctors, incoming officers and outgoing officers. Everybody, congratulations. Everybody should, stay in touch and stay healthy, stay safe. And now I would request Dr. Seema Arora to give a closing remarks. Oh, what is that?
Simanti, you're muted.
Yeah, I think.
Simanti, you have your mute button. I don't know what's going on.
Mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
All right. So yes, I would like to thank the speakers today, Meenakshi ji and Tanushree and Monica, of course, and also my co-hosts Udaya and Sandhya, and Dr. Suresh Reddy, President of AAPI. And I would like to say a few words as the Chair Board of Trustees of AAPI. I would like to first of all thank all the audience who are watching us, and many of them know, but those who don't, I would like to tell you that we were supposed to have our annual convention at this time, but we decided to have it virtually, and we're having this virtual summit for till the 28th, so another week. We have streamlined webinars, lectures. Also, for medical students, we have a spelling bee and poster presentations. We have CEO forum. We have many esteemed invited guests, politicians, and other guests, and also a lot of entertainment in the evening, and many singers and stars from Bombay as well as here. So please look at our website. We have a lot of information on COVID. We have been doing these webinars throughout this COVID epidemic, and they are, every time, you know, you learn something new, because as you know, this is an evolving disease, and we need ongoing education. So we are educating the physicians, and we are also doing a lot of fundraising and charity work, and we have a lot of resources available on our website for laymen and for physicians, and how they can use our help. People who are here from India and they don't have medications, we are helping them fill their prescriptions, and you know, arranging for PPE, masks, etc. if they're not available. So our website is www.apiusa.org. And sometime in fall, we may have, as it permits, as things evolve and change, we will have our convention. So I would like to see all of you and all of the speakers today here, all our guests. If you can join us at that time, we'll get in touch with you. Thank you for this lovely session. Goodbye to everyone, and namaskar.
Hello, is Dr. Suresh Reddy, our president, wanted to say anything?
Is he there? Is he on the
Suresh?
At this moment, I just wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Ji.
It is.
Go ahead, Ms.
Yeah, it'll be remiss of me if I did not recognize and acknowledge Dr. Suresh Reddy, President of AAPI. And I just wanted to say a big thank you for him. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. It was a great session. We really had a great time. Some very inspiring thoughts and information. Thanks for joining us. And again, we are all very grateful to AAPI. Is Dr. Reddy there?
I don't know, he muted, I think. Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Bye. Have a good day.
Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thanks, our pleasure.